All right. Honor and respect. Mm, Set a few things up. All right. Honor and respect. Hello, lighters. How's it going? Um, I always, every time I get on here, is the time that I'm like, am I ashy? Am I ashy? I need to stop looking at looking at the camera feed. All right. We're gonna be looking at what's holding you back from walking in your purpose. I feel like a lot of us are reaching this moment where we're we're rediscovering. I feel like we've been here before, but we're now in a more elevated space where we're rediscovering that we truly are the magic, you know? It's not something that we have to look outside of us. So whatever wherever the key was buried within us. And then all we have to do is find it. Find that room, flip the switch and watch everything just kind of start radiating with light from the inside. However, as we are all interconnected, since not all of us are doing the work, we are also being impacted. And so, when it comes to walking in our purpose, when it comes to living more authentically, it's like we're playing this game of lights and shadows. And so, what we're going to be looking at is basically kind of what's holding you back. What do you need to be aware of? What sort of behaviors do you need to be aware of? So, when you start doing it, you just pause, acknowledge it, take time to see what it's trying to teach you. But the secret is in knowing ourselves better as we, you know, um get ourselves together and start working our light, start working our purpose, in whatever ways that, might not appear for us. All right. Um, in respect, what is preventing us from walking in our purpose? What's holding us back? In respect, what is holding us back? Beautiful. We have the sun. We have the Knight of Swords. We have the Lovers. We have the Tower. The King of Pentacles. We have the Hierophant and the Nine of Cups. Okay. Hmm. What is holding us back from walking in our purpose? Mm. We have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Swords, holding us back from walking in our purpose. Mm. We have the Two of Cups and the Star. Let's just here. Who's holding us back from living in our purpose? Respect. All right. We have the Page of Pentacles. All right. We have the Two of Pentacles. And we have the King of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups. Okay. And then bottom of the deck, we have the Hangman that is appearing at the bottom. That is appearing. And then behind that, we have the Seven of Swords reversed. I generally don't read reversals, so I think my deck is just reversed actually. But there's a reason why I saw the hangman. Actually, like, let me pull it up. Um, and we have the Seven of Swords at the bottom as well. So what I'm seeing is what's holding you back is an illusion of chaos, is what I'm hearing. Hmm. Illusion of chaos. We have the Tower. Because what they're seeing, so under the Tower, we have the Star. So what I'm seeing is basically in this moment, this is a timeless reading, but it's whatever moment that you're watching this. What I'm seeing is that you feel like you're being held back. There's a reason why you picked this reading, and I guess there's a reason why I'm making this reading, right? You are basically in this illusion of chaos when everything is actually working the way that it is supposed to. I'm seeing that this we have the lovers and the two of cups here and the Hierophant. I would try not to make this about love, but obviously it is. Because what I'm seeing is, and I've been talking to a friend, to many friends actually. I've been talking a lot about relationships and love and trying to kind of truly understand what is the purpose of that, right? Um, and this kind of path to inner freedom, acknowledging that the key is within us, the light is within us, and we can free ourselves through deliberately learning and unlearning uh, all of our shadows and leaning into it's kind of like this process of remembering who we are and what we came here to do through following our intuition, through listening and learning from the world. And what I'm seeing is that you've been doing a lot of this work, where you're you're learning about who you are, you're working on yourself, and what's happening is that you're becoming a little hyper vigilant. You're becoming it's kind of like you're playing this game with the universe where it's like it's an advanced game of chess now because you've reached the veil, and you are now able to like you're now understanding more and more of your powers in terms of shedding illusion, and clearing out your life, clearing out the things that are keeping you tied to this, you know, made up world, basically, of what does it really mean to be human? What does it really mean to be here? What are we here to do? It's like everybody's winging it, but they want you to agree with their consensus. And you found your way where you're designing your own life, you're designing your own path, and you're co-creating with the universe. But what is happening is that you're getting too good at it. So because you're getting so good at, oh, I'm seeing this illusion here, I saw this shadow move here. So you're really working on your power. So what's happening is that they are ramping up the universe and your spirit guides, they are ramping up the shadow game basically for you to see through. So now it's kind of like the Eight of Swords energy, where it's like they are purposefully placing you in multiple. And I'm seeing the Eight of Swords from the hoodoo deck. It looks like um a crossroads. And I've been working a lot with Papa Lekba. And so there's a lot of And the two of swords. I can, if I could find it, please. The eight of swords in this deck. They gave me the lovers instead. Anyway, I can find it. I don't want to take the time to do that. Um, yeah, so like the Eight of Swords energy basically saying that they're placing you in these situations where it's basically kind of like dropping you in the wilderness and then telling you to find your way back to the center, because what's happening is that you're creating a new center in your life, right? You're creating a new center. It's you and the sun. um and so now they're trying to kind of train you to follow the sun back to the center, the new center, not the old version of you that would get lost in things like love. And that's why I brought a conversation I was having with my friend about a quote I said the other day that was like, um, when the devil can't reach you, it sends you a man. And what I see about that, and this is something that I've been talking about in terms of so many of those, you know, Western approaches to those kind of systems, indigenous systems that, look at this work that we're talking about in terms of finding the light inside. Um, a lot of them, we have like this major distortion of what love is supposed to be, how it is supposed to be practiced, what is it all about. And it is a purposeful, kind of switch of what that concept is supposed to do, especially when we talk about the year of it, right? A lot of teachers I see are, and I used to be, very much like that too, reluctant to talk about love. But what I've seen love to be is a principal motivator in terms of, personal development, whether it's love of self, love of country, love of humanity, love of romantic love, platonic love. Love provides like this pleasure center, and emotional seat like of motivation, um, that can push you to look beyond things. It gives you that extra push to say, well, since I care about this person, I'm going to spend more time on this to really think through what is actually going on with me, or what is actually going on with them, or what is actually going on with this connection. Love gives you this, groundedness. That's why we talk about a breakup glow up situation, where after you break up with someone, it like this like major energy of, powerful transformation that happens after breakups. There's a reason for that. This is energy work, right? It's not it's not random that, tower moments, and I love the tower card in this the Lycius Tarot, where it's really a lightning strike. It's a breakthrough, like clear breakthrough. But then you see the butterflies as, this is about, growth. It's about like that spiral of, remembering and growing, remembering and elevating, remembering and elevating. So what I'm seeing is that one of your um blind spots, just the same as the world, is love. You might want to feel like, oh, I would rather focus on, spiritual readings and spiritual work and not love. But they keep bringing this kind of love into your focus, and this may be it may be coming through in your work as well. um Whatever work that you do, or like it's a topic, especially if you've been avoiding it, I'm hearing, for years. It's a topic that's going to keep bringing, the light is coming in on this area of your life. And so because of that, what's happening is that Your ancestors are bringing you into this moment of growth, of transformation. It's like you've cleared out the first layer of illusions, and now you're kind of closer and closer and closer to the center. And it's getting, the veil is basically getting thicker, and you're being asked to look through that, because in our world we value like more cognitive ways of processing information, and you've been working a lot on your intuitive ways of processing information, which is why you've renewed your connection to spirit, and all of that. But now they're asking you to work on your emotional ways of processing information, and that one is, it's building. And that's, it's a great, they want you to appreciate kind of the process of it, right? Because now you should feel more settled in your emotional processing of events, because you spend so much time grounding your logos, like your logical perspective, grounding away at your intuitive perspective. And now your emotional perspective can build on that, because the emotional perspective, the emotional gets you closest to the center. The emotional is closest to the center when we're talking about the heart, right? It's closest to the center. However, when you're looking at things through an emotional lens, a lot more it's a lot thicker. It's a lot more prone to illusions, when you're thinking, when you're like moving through your feelings. And so they want you to basically, it's kind of like you're building your, sphere of um not just understanding, but they want you to get into the mud. That's why we're talking about an illusion of chaos, right? It's about kind of maintaining, it's kind of so meditation might be very beneficial for you at that time, where you're gonna come back to your breath, come back to your breath, come back to your breath, right? And for you to select something as your breath, as your potomita, and then pick that to come back to. Maybe your breath is your purpose, and have a specific, um, or three specific activities for that purpose. And so when you say come back to your breath, you can say, okay, so come back to your breath. That means come back to, the thought of my purpose, but then I can also come back, bring my body back to my purpose by going and doing these specific activities, right? Um, what I'm seeing is that in terms of love, though, there is a major illusion in your love life, and I'm seeing it's on both sides. We have both the King of Swords and the Queen of Cups, you know. So I'm seeing that this is your person, and they are basically, and that's what I was talking about in terms of like, it's like you have someone who is in your whoever is in kind of in your presence, in your spiritual presence right now, who is here to teach you, who is actually offering you this opportunity for emotional learning, and you're doing the same for them, where it's a path for them to, rise to their own their own understanding of themselves and of their spirit, through, giving themselves completely away to what speaks to their heart, right? And to kind of use what you know to go after what you want, instead of turning what you know into what you want. There is a difference. And especially in this world where we are, and as I know that my community of lighters is a lot of creatives and things like that, it's like sometimes we feel like we have to give up on our dreams in order to go for the things that are, that will give us external validation, or that will make us look like we're mature and we're growing up. And it feels like the idea of giving up is the mature decision, and falling into line is what happens when you get older. And what I'm seeing is that you are kind of wrecking your actual existence, is wrecking this belief for this person that you're with, right? And so um that's their illusion to clear through, right? The illusion of having to pick and choose between who you want to be and what you want to do, but then understanding that it is not about compartmentalization, but it is about total, full integration of all of the things that make you you. And so for you, it's about healing. So I'm hearing it's about forgiveness, it's about patience for you. It's about understanding the destructive process of healing. And basically, you know, gaining a deeper focus on what is this all about? What is love all about? Is it about getting what you want? Is it about nonstop companionship? Is it about having a pen pal, a texting buddy who's like always, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's like, what is a relationship supposed to look like? What is that bond supposed to look like from an energetic perspective, but also through an emotional lens? Like, they want you to be in love and be hurt in love and feel that. And what is that, right? It's like the illusion just keeps kind of changing shapes. The more that you figure one shape out, it flips it. You figure this. That's why you've been feeling this kind of sort of chaos. Like, it's like, yesterday I was in a better place when it came to this whole situation. Why is it today that I feel different? And it's like, you have to now look at it from a different perspective, because what happened yesterday, you had a different understanding. So now you need to get up and move to a different place, as in, and that also means like maybe you need to go and work out, do a different kind of exercise, go a different place, see something different, so that more experiences can come into your consciousness, instead of getting to a point and saying, well, I figured this out about this relationship, so now I'm just waiting for what's next. It's like, no, you can always see more, you can always go deeper, but you don't have to do it in just one way. Maybe you write a different story, you look at it from a different perspective. Maybe you've been swimming a lot, but you go and you work out and you lift weights instead today, just to do the different movement, where it's like you went from flowing through things, to kind of adding weight on you, spending time in slowing down, right? So what I'm seeing is, what they're trying to basically give you is like, they're equipping you with a switch army knife. And so they're asking you, it's basically that moment I've been talking about, where it's like in those spy movies or whatever, and then the person comes in, blah blah blah, with the briefcase, and they open it up, and you just see a bunch of different spy gadgets and stuff. So basically, that's where you are through this situation, and whatever other situations that you find yourself. They want you to lean into your talents, your intuition, it's like everything that you've learned so far. They want you to be, working on them, doing different things, getting out of the house. They want you to be experimenting. You're basically in the lab right now. And they want you to be aware of the fact that your emotional life is a lab too, right? So basically they're like, what can you experiment with grounded in all of those the logical and intuitive and emotional new understandings that you have now. They want you to not play it safe. Right now it's time to be out in the sun. It is the summer. I'm going to do a reading about the spiritual significance of this summer and kind of what are the energies and how to basically maximize the energy of the summer. So I will be sending that out. It's definitely going to be quite chaotic. But as I always say, chaos is, pure unbridled potential that you can direct, by using yourself as the wand, using all of this work that you've been doing as the wand. And so with the sun and the eight of pentacles, I'm seeing that this is major time for work for you, whatever work means. So you might be hearing about a new job, new opportunities, because like we say, we're gonna send you in the lab. So you're going to be you should be getting ready to start making those kinds of moves. I'm seeing, yeah, you should be. Let me. Here's the angel ancestors. Oh, dang, this deck is not here. Once they want me to go get it. Hold on 1 second, guys. All right, let's see. Say grow within your current situation. Confirmation, of your ancestors saying, yeah, this moment is, it's about learning. Um, we have take charge with authority. Like we're saying, it's time for you to, get out there. Get out there. Trust your instincts, as you're out there. Um, Set your sights higher. Yeah, definitely this is not a time for you to be playing small, you know. And that's what we mean by being in the lab. So many of these ideas that you've been having, don't sit on them. And don't wait for them to be like the perfect version in order for you to actually take the first step. No. Just go in, do it, and just keep, like believe in the iterative process of improvement instead of trying to have like a perfect product right at the beginning. Allow yourself to learn as you do. So a lot of these ideas that you have, just go ahead and start moving on them. And allow yourself to be embarrassed. They want you to stop being so like kind of a know-it-all in it, right? Where it's like, yes, we understand that your intuition is on top and you're doing this and you're doing that, but we need you to learn more so that you can develop your abilities, right? It's kind of like just keep moving forward so that you can understand what's going on instead of kind of recycling old thoughts. So that also means get into reading, some books that I'm hearing have been assigned to you. So this is your ancestors. They might have given you like some sort of like curriculum. So whatever books have been, calling out to you, or some books that you've been planning to read or whatever, go ahead and do that. I'm hearing there are some movies that they've been telling you to watch as well. So it's like as you do multiple things, align everything in your life in a way that whenever you're doing something, whether it's for fun, whether it's for work, whether, whatever it is about, whether it's social, emotional, whatever it is, you're still kind of continuing with this idea that what you're doing is that you're basically sharpening your knives, sharpening your weapons, sharpening your tools, understanding just how much you can do, because as you're moving towards your purpose, right now it's in the lab, right now is the experiment, is the science, is the good old science try, good old science process. So what they're saying is to, when things are happening, don't feel like this is chaotic and you're doing something wrong. They're like, no, you need to be living, you need to be out there, out of your hermit stage, you need to be out there doing things instead of trying to find one single understanding of whatever is happening in this relationship and just stay there and wait. That is absolutely the opposite of what you should be doing right now. They say let go of the need to be right. Exactly as I was saying, it's like, and this is also about, being right with the universe. It's like the universe is saying, like, stop, change the game. They're like, we're no longer playing the game of, are you right about this or are you wrong about this? Now we're playing the game of, what can I learn through this? How can I be the actor, in this life that I'm drawing? And that requires you to, be more outside. So they say, wait for more, for important information. That's what I meant by some of the opportunities that are coming through you. We have the sun. Um, so definitely some opportunities are going to come in to actually give you, basically what they're saying is kind of opening yourself up, opening the energy up for those opportunities to come in, for you to get into the lab and start experimenting. Especially they're saying that a lot of the experimenting is going to be through, social interactions, getting to know people, creating bonds with people, having conversations with people. They want you to really be out there doing things like that, right? Honor your inner knowing. Absolutely. And this is what the work is about, right? It's like, now that you're doing this, understanding that you've been learning so much, and now you're learning more, but you're learning more strategically, you know. Be devoted and committed, right? So take your notes, journal, whatever. This is basically, your ancestors and your guides are asking you to see this as, back to school time. You're going back to school, but at this point, you're basically, you're developing your own curriculum, your own syllabus. You're developing what is going to be your course of study based on the purpose that you've picked, and the universe will work with you by sending you different experiences that will teach you more and more of what you need to do. Okay, drop your shields. You are protected. So again, everything that you're feeling is an illusion of chaos. This is not an indication for you to be playing small or moving, slowly. They're like, no, just drop everything, just keep going. Let this person work on whatever they need to work on. It's not really about you anymore. So basically, if you're seeing love as this kind of co-creating with the universe as well, it's kind of like the universe is basically saying, I got this part. Whenever I need you, I'll tap you back in. Right. So if you need distractions, get a toy, I'm hearing. Get a new toy. Get something new. Add more to your life if you don't want to kind of be back out there to, have sex, but you want to have conversations with other people and see, kind of play with this new energy that you're feeling and all of that. Go ahead and do that. But like we say, right? Be graceful in movement and action. So make sure that you're being intentional in what you're doing. It's not about like making them pay, or this is not about revenge or anything like that. It's very much just releasing, moving, learning more, and allowing people to come and find you, basically come and find you. But yes, um They definitely are also advising, yes, beyond the current transformation, transform and unveil your gifts. So absolutely. What else? Was there something else that you wanted me to say? This- We'll pull from this, and I think that's it, right? Okay. See what stage. Yeah. This is just some more confirmation, some more messages from your guys. They said you've won the lottery. Make room for wonderment. They want you to also pay attention to just how well you've been doing. You are definitely in a different space right now, and they want you to really truly appreciate that. um yeah, surrender to your spiritual reverie, divine drunkenness. Yeah, they want you to just give in, because they feel like you're kind of holding yourself so tight, like you don't want to do something wrong and miss out on something. And it's like, no, it's not about that. Everything has been guaranteed. You've won the lottery. You've gotten everything that you need to get now. Now it's about open, 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 open. That's the word. It's about opening up to receive, opening up to share, and all of the work is about using your discernment and using the different tools that you've gathered throughout this time, right? We have land gracefully, afterglow. What would your higher self do? Your divinity in blue jeans. Yes, you're definitely in the seat of your higher self now. So this is a beautiful time. It's a beautiful time, but also at the same time, it is a time to keep shedding more and more fears because they'll keep coming in. There's not a fin leave. There's not a done. Like it's always going to keep growing, and the universe will keep evolving and will keep working with you. So it's kind of like, it's a learning. The more you learn, the harder the tests will become, but they're not necessarily hard, and they're not necessarily tests. They want you to see life as living. So if they have to kind of cloud you more in order for you to get you to move, they'll do that, but you don't have to do that. That's the kind of tower energy. It's like you don't need to stop playing safe, because the universe will then start pushing you, right? So if you do it willingly, then it's not going to be in any direction that you're not directing. It's not You're not going to be kind of at the mercy of the waves, but you can surf, basically. So what they're asking you to do is to surrender to learning how to surf and falling and this and that, instead of just standing still in the middle of the waves, because you will get, toppled over regardless. Absolutely. One with the sun, be the light. So we have the sun twice. And the rewards. Celebrate your magnificence. So, like we're saying, there's definitely some rewards and opportunities coming towards you. Basically, final, be reborn daily, let go of the past, and breathe in your new incarnation. Yeah, absolutely. You've been reincarnated. This is the time for you to, see beyond the veil, see beyond the illusions, to really truly see that the sun is out here. The sun is out here. Pay attention to all of the abundance and beauty in your life, because you've done so, 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 so much work. And nothing is holding you back from walking in your purpose. All that was holding you back, and I hope that this reading really helped you understand that, clear away the illusion and start experimenting with life, start creating with the universe again. Don't be so worried about being right, about having the right intuition, having the right this, having the right that. Just be here, okay? Be present. All right. Thank you so much, lighters. Thank you to my spirit guides. Ayibobo, Bilolooooooo. Thank you. May this message find you right when you need it, and may it inspire you to create more and more freedom in your life. Bye.